Okay, I believe we're live. Okay, so we're going to talk about a couple of the things that, first of all, we're going to start off with the first primary question. So it's a couple of questions that I've been receiving, and it really is, the number one question is, why is this trade copier so different than other trade copiers or our signal service? And the primary difference is that it is really me who's trading for you. It's not like a black box automated system that automatically generates trades and sends them out to you to your MetaTrader platform with nobody actually verifying and validating the signals. I think that's a really dangerous situation, to set up some kind of, and there's a lot of them out there, set up some kind of Trade Copier EA system on your platform, your MetaTrader 4 platform, and then just let it fire off trades all by itself. I don't recommend doing that if you can avoid it. I know that a lot of people, and I know personally because I know that me and my tech support guy, Michael, we install our trade copier onto our subscribers' platforms. So we use that program called TeamViewer, so we're able to log onto their computer and then help them with the installation. And when we install it, we can see that that a lot of other subscribers have used other types of EA signal services that automatically execute trades for them. First of all, the first thing I want to let you know is that if you're using my trade copier service, my trade copier EA service, with another one on the same platform with another type of EA from another company, it probably won't work. And there are times when those two EAs installed on the same platform, they will create some kind of conflict so that either my trades won't execute correctly or won't execute at all. Or sometimes we've even seen the trades invert, so they flip. So if I was to go, let's say I was to place a buy order on the euro dollar, what ends up happening, because there's so many different EAs in there and there's such a conflict within the platform, it'll create a sell order instead of a buy order. Every once in a while, we get questions from subscribers, and they'll say, hey, you said in your update video that you had made a trade on the euro dollar. You made like 40 points today, but I lost money on it. I lost like 30 points or something. So they'll say something like that, and then we'll immediately log in with the team viewer or ask that subscriber if they're using another EA, and inevitably they'll say something like yes, or I just removed it. I just saw the video. Sorry about that. Now we have videos in the members area that show you exactly how to install our Trade Copier EA. It's really easy. But if you need any assistance, we're there to help you. So that's the first thing I want to warn you, is that if you're using another type of EA, mine might not work. I recommend just using one EA on each trading account. So if you want to use other EAs that you've already purchased, that's fine. Just set up another demo account or another account and then add mine to it. So why is mine so much better than others? I've been trading since 2001, and I developed my trading system. It took me about 18 months to see consistent results from the time I started trading until the time I could start sending money home so I could pay my bills every single month. Obviously, you've got to have sufficient capital. I talk about making $5,000 a month for some of my subscribers, or $10,000 a month for some of my subscribers, but it really is all relative to how much money you have available to trade. So if you have a $500 trading account, that's all the capital you have in your account, then obviously I'm not going to be able to make you $5,000. It's not going to happen. But many of my subscribers, a lot of them are either nearing retirement, or they're operating a full-time job or a full-time business, and they have sufficient capital. They have some money. They've tried to, they've tried their hand at Forex. Maybe they're still trying to get the hang of it and they're still learning systems, but they know that there's money to be made in the Forex business. So what they do is they buy my trade copier and they set it up on a trading account. And some of them will have $15,000, $25,000, $55,000. Now, I know what I personally would recommend if you're going to be using a standard lot. I talk about standard lots, and that's earning approximately $10 a pip. And that's when you're going to see true results. I mean, if I'm averaging about 400 pips every single week, you're going to make about 1,000 to 1,200 or maybe 1,600 pips a month. Now you're talking about $10,000 on a standard lot, just one standard lot. But again, you've got to make sure that you have enough capital so that you can justify trading a standard lot. You don't want to overexpose capital. If you have a $5,000 trading account and you want to trade a standard lot, I think personally that leverage, that's just too high risk. Ultimately, what it really comes down to is your comfort level. And I highly recommend that you speak to your broker and tell them how much money you have available to trade. And then ask them, what is the best type of trading account that they have. Some brokers actually will recommend and guide you into a certain type of trading account. And I've also noticed over the past few years that some brokers, based on the available capital that a client has, they'll move them into a trading account that they can only execute that particular lot size, like maybe a micro or a mini or whatever it is. The lot size setting is already predetermined for you. So talk to your broker, ask them what they feel is best, and ask them if there's going to be any limitations. Now, again, a $5,000 trading account, that's good. That's a lot of money, but it is not enough, as far as I'm concerned, to justify the margin and the leverage that you would use if you want to execute a standard lot. I still recommend that you have more than that. But then again, like I said, it really comes down to you. Now, you can trade mini lots. If I'm executing and earning approximately 1,000 to 1,600 pips a month, then you're going to earn about $1,000 to $1,600 per month with a mini lot. That's $1 per pip. That might be a little more comfortable as far as the lot sizing if you're using a smaller trading account. But again, talk to your broker. Talk to your broker. That's really your best bet, because they can move you into a really good trading account type that will allow you to maximize the most based on the leverage that you're comfortable with using. When a signal develops, I am the one. Nobody else trades for me. I've talked about in other videos that, from the day I started trading back in 2001, I documented everything that I did. I wrote out, I have a written journal, and then I have a video journal. And I intended that I was going to leave all this information to my children. I was going to teach them how to trade, so that way eventually my family, my children, could trade my family account. Everything that I've built, they could continue to trade on it. My children do know how to trade. They have their own trading accounts, the ones that do want to trade with me. But they do not execute trades for this Trade Copier program. It is only me. I'm the only one who verifies and validates all of these trades. Now, I mentioned that I trade around the clock. I watch the Asian, London, New York session. Obviously, I sleep. I like to sleep. I need my sleep. I believe in sleep. I think that sleep is very, very important, especially to stay focused and to remain strong, and to have the the ability to handle all the psychological impacts that you can experience through trading. But even when I say that I'm watching the Asian session, I'm still going to sleep if I can determine that there really isn't anything going on during the Asian session. Occasionally, something will happen that the market just isn't anticipating. It could be some kind of an announcement out of the Bank of Japan. Somebody could say something out of Japan that would cause a big breakout, and I have alarms and indicators that will warn me or alert me if there is a breakout. And then I can easily determine and assess the trade if it's necessary to trade. But that doesn't usually happen. Again, I'm watching and monitoring all sessions and looking for opportunities. The other thing that I'm doing is obviously watching the political environment. The political environment, very often we can determine when some of these political events and statements and speeches are going to be made that will have an impact and could have an impact on price in the Forex market. And then, of course, I'm also watching the economic calendar. And sometimes, if I'm sleeping during the Asian session, and if I see a big possible event during the London session, maybe some UK economic data, I'll be awake for that. I'll wake up about 30 minutes before that and watch to see if there's any kind of reaction. Sometimes I'll get a signal. And even when I get a signal during the London session, it might take until the New York session before I actually get the signal. I'm sorry, the entry. So there's two differences. I mean, I've got to wait for the signal itself, and then I've got to confirm it. And then sometimes I still don't get the entry right away. It depends on the technique. If you watch some of the videos, and I'll talk about them in another video, another presentation where we review my trade copier, the strategies that I use are very specific, and I only execute according to those strategies. And when they develop, again, there are some techniques that I execute that require an immediate entry and execution of the trade when I get a confirmed signal. And then there's another one, and I'll just give you the example. It's the continuation breakout trade. The continuation breakout trade is one that will generally put me in the path of a big breakout and some kind of event, whether it's economic data, political statement, something like that, a central bank statement, something like that will create price to break out of a particular consolidation range. And when that signal handle closes outside of that consolidation range, I then verify it and validate and look for the news and confirm everything. So I'm using fundamental and technical analysis at the same time. And when I get that signal, that's not my entry on the continuation breakout trade. I still need to wait for that 3-pip entry. Now, if you watch some of those videos about my continuation breakout trade, that strategy It was really, I explained how I put it together, what I was using, the different tools, and who I was following. I was watching, John Bollinger. I'm a big fan of John Bollinger, and I was trying to incorporate, fundamental analysis with technical analysis. I was learning all of these skills and these strategies in my first year of trading, and that was actually the first technique that I learned, that I developed, and that I learned to use consistently, was the continuation breakout trade. So sometimes I'll get a signal, and then it'll be 3, 4, 5 hours later, and then I get the entry. If it sounds a little bit confusing, it might seem confusing without seeing it, but I just want you to know that when a signal develops, if you're going to use my trade copier, I'm the one validating the trade. I have to ask myself a few things. Why would price continue in the same direction that it's going in? Is it possible that it could be a head fake? Is it possible that it could be just a false statement or rumor, and then price will turn around and go back to where it started? All of these things I need to search and look for to try to find the cause of why price is moving. I'm also watching and trading FX futures, so I can see true volume there. It's not MetaTrader tick volume. This is totally different. I'm watching, Japanese yen futures. I'm watching the dollar. I'm watching futures, and I'm looking for volume so that way I can expect price to continue to trend in the direction that I'm trying to trade it in. So there's a lot that goes into trading, to executing a trade. It's not a black box automated system that just fires off a trade based on some moving average crossovers, or a particular indicator pointing in one direction or the opposite, something like that. It's nothing like that. I personally manage each one of these trades, and when I get into the trades, when I execute the trade, my trade copier on my platform, it will automatically duplicate the trade onto your MetaTrader platform. And then, of course, you get to specify the settings, right? You get to determine whether or not you want it to be to execute a micro lot or a mini lot or a standard lot. And again, I recommend that you talk to your broker and really determine which account is the best one for you based on your goals, how much money you want to make, and how much money you have available to trade. And then, of course, you can just enter in that information when you install the trade copier. You just put in the lot sizing that you want. It's really easy. The other thing that's really different about my trade copier is that there's a maximum stop loss placement that you can enter into the trade copier. And what that means is, with all of my techniques, every one of them, all the different techniques, you've probably seen some of my videos. I'm not going to list them all here, but the maximum size stop loss that I use is 55 pips. But very often, even if I experience a loss, it's not 55 pips. If a trade isn't going to work, most of the time I can determine that the trade's going to fail and that there's some mistake somewhere. So I can close the trade minus 17, maybe minus 20, maybe minus 27 pips. So we don't have to experience a 55 pip negative, stop loss. But that is the largest stop loss that I'll ever use. I know I get that question that sometimes some of my subscribers, they've used other services, and those other services, sometimes they don't use stop loss placement. They have trades that are minus 100 or 200 or even 300. I've even heard some subscribers saying that they've experienced minus 300 pips on a trade. That's a horrible situation to be in, and I'm never going to do that to you. The thing is that when I execute a trade on my platform, that's exactly what you're getting. You're getting the same trade I execute. I feed my family from executing my trades on this platform. So it's in my best interest that you get the same results. So again, the maximum or largest size stop loss is 55 pips. You get to go into the trade copier and set in maximum 55 pips. So if there's ever any kind of disconnection between your platform and my platform, you might be worried about that. Maybe the internet, technology being what it is, occasionally there's going to be some problems. It's inevitable. We can't, solve every issue. There's always going to be some technical glitches or issues somewhere along the line. But this is one of the ways to prevent a large exposure of capital. And it will, if there was a disconnection between my platform and your platform, you can rest assured that your platform already has that minus 55 pip stop loss predetermined and set in with every single trade. So if the trade ever goes more negative, and let's say I close at minus 17, but for some reason your broker doesn't close the position on your trade on your end, even if it was to experience a bigger loss, or it was to continue to go into more negative, it would stop and close the trade at minus 55 pips. So you're insured. That's almost like insurance. That's another feature, a safety feature with this trade copier that we're using. So these are really all the reasons why my service is a lot better than a lot of the other services. You're getting a professional Forex trader. I've been trading a private managed fund since 2005. I actually started it in 2005. I continue to this day. It's a private fund. And I've been teaching and coaching students since 2007. Actually, my very first coaching student was in 2005. But it took me from 2005 until 2007 until I really started to open it up to the public, and I started my first chat room, and I've been providing signal services and coaching since 2007, and I continue to this day. So it is a really good, robust trading system. You might be a little bit surprised if you've tried other signal services and then they fire off a bunch of trades all day long and you get like 12, 13, 14, 15, and they're scalping. I don't do that. You're going to be really surprised, because what you're going to notice is I probably take anywhere from 5 to 25, maybe 30 trades per week. 5 on the low end if it's like, Christmas or Thanksgiving and the market's, moving around inside of consolidation and there's just really nothing to do. Sometimes, every once in a while, it's going to happen that I just don't get a trade signal. That obviously doesn't happen very often, but generally you're going to see about 10, 15, 25 trades executed in your account. And I don't constantly trade. I'm not always in the market. I just wait for my trades to come to me. And if the markets are going sideways and flat, I'm going to wait for the next trading session to create a little more opportunity. Most of the trades that I execute, according to the system that I developed and the system that I use, most of the trades will be executed during the New York trading session. And there's a couple of reasons why I do that. You'll notice that there's a lot more, and especially if you're trading FX futures, you're going to notice a lot more volume. You're going to notice a lot more participation. Things pick up most of the time. Now, I can't say 100% of the time because it's not possible, but most of the time during the New York session, we get more volume, we get more participation. So when I see some of these signals like the Tech 1 trade, reversals, things like that, breakouts, if they occur during the news events with the New York trading session, very often when I get into a trade and the length of time that it takes for that trade to reach its target is usually just maybe anywhere from 30 minutes to 2 or 3 hours. And that is pretty good. That's relatively good because it's a trade that moves pretty consistently to its target because of the participation. I want to trade. When I see a trade, when I see a signal, I want to make sure that I can confirm it and that I'm trading in the same direction as everybody else. I do not want to be the only guy going against everybody. In other words, if there's some kind of reversal and I'm thinking that the euro dollar is going to come back down, but everybody continues to trade it long, you can see I'm going to get stopped out. I want to be trading with everybody else, and I want to be trading with more momentum and more volume. So that's one of the other things that I'm doing at the same time when I'm confirming some of these signals that I get before I execute a trade. I'm looking for that strength. If I'm looking at the euro dollar, I want to see the euro dollar strong and the euro strong and the dollar weak. I want to see that separation, and I want to see the volume there. I want to see that there's a lot of selling volume in the dollar, and I want to see a lot of volume moving higher in the euro. These are the things that I'm looking for, and a regular black box system isn't going to be doing all that. Only a professional trader who's trying to determine if it's a really good, valid signal, that's the only way it's going to happen. That's the only way you're going to get really good, true performance. So that's really the biggest difference with my Trade Copier, is that you're getting a professional trader that's going to not only confirm each one of these signals, but is going to manage each trade all the way to the very end, until that trade either reaches its target or it gets stopped out. If it gets stopped out, I'm going to be there. I'm going to put in more time, and rest assured that if you get stopped out, I'm getting stopped out, and I want that money back. And I'm going to do what I can to earn the losses back within the same session or on the very next trade. Now, one of the things that I can recommend if you're going to use my Trade Copier is to consider using, and I'll go to this other slide here, consider using the, make sure that this adjusted here. I apologize for switching things around here. Let's go ahead and change the, there we go. Sorry about that. Okay, so you should be able to see my Platinum Automated Forex Signal System. Now, I want to just briefly explain what this is. This is actually, I'm sorry, some of you can't see that. There we go. This is actually a upgraded version of my Trade Copier service. And by using this Trade Copier service, the Platinum Automated Signal Service, you're going to be receiving 3 to 4 times more profits than my previous best Forex Trade Copier service. The reason is, and you've probably heard some of my videos, where I talk about I'm in a chat room and I'm calling out trades. And obviously it's a lot easier for me to call out, 3 or 4 trades when they all develop and create a signal at the same time. It's a lot easier for me to call them out because I'm looking at the charts and the screens. It's a lot easier to do that than to execute those trades quickly for everybody and then type in the details in the chat room and then make sure that everybody sees, where to get in, where to get out in the chat room, because I'm doing several different things in the chat room. But the execution, the decision for me to see those trades and the signals, sometimes there's going to be 2 trades that develop right at the same time. Or, we might get into one trade and then we can get into another one an hour later. So you're going to get all of the results and all of the trades that I call out live in my chat room. Now, the chat room's not open to the public anymore. I had mentioned back at late spring that I'm no longer doing coaching. I do not offer coaching anymore. I'm just going to exclusively offer this platinum automated trade service, and I'm going to be trading for my clients, all my subscribers, through this system. So the chat room is no longer open. You do get the bonus material, which is my trading course, so that you can learn everything that I'm doing. You get to learn everything that I'm doing by watching those videos and then earning while you learn. I'm going to be earning the money for you. I'll be trading for you when you use this. This is all included. So really you're signing up to use the signal system, and then the bonus is my trading course. It's a big membership site. It's the same trading course that I sell right now for $2,900. It is worth it. It is my life's work. Since I started trading back in 2001, it is every technique, everything I've ever learned is in this trading course, from how to, incorporate fundamental technical analysis, everything that you could experience, psychological issues, everything that I've ever gone through is in this membership site. I have video documented everything, and those videos are in this membership site. So you get access to that. But this automated trading system is going to give you 3 to 4 times more signals than my previous service. And that's really the biggest advantage to using this entire Trade Copier EA system. It really is, and it does. The system, the whole program installs like a typical EA. And as I mentioned earlier, we can install it for you if you need any assistance with it. So it's an awesome system. It's a great way for you to be making, if you have the capital, you could make $5,000 to $10,000 to $15,000 a month. You really can. It really depends on the capital that you have available. If you've got less capital available, you could make anywhere from $500 to $1,000 to $1,500 a month. It really depends on the amount of capital. Again, if you want to make more money, I highly recommend you talk to your broker, tell them how much you have available to trade, tell them how much you want to make, and they'll work with you. And then that information and the lot sizing that they help you determine is best for you, that's what you're going to enter into my signal system. Now, I'm going to be trading for a long time. I'm going to be trading until I can no longer see the charts, and I'm relatively young, so we've got a long ways to go. You get access to use the Trade Copier for as long as you want, and I'm going to be trading for you. So you have plenty of time to learn my system. And if you decide, in the future, and many of my subscribers they've said, Joseph, I really appreciate learning all of your strategies and everything, but I don't want to trade. I like the results that I get from you trading for me, and I want you to continue to trade for me. So I'm just going to use your Platinum automated signal system. Again, it is an EA that installs onto the MetaTrader 4 platform, and it automatically executes all of the trades that I execute every day. So if you want to sign up, there is a link just below this video and on my page. It'll take you straight to the Platinum automated Forex signal system. Make sure that you sign up with this one. This is the Platinum automated Forex signal system, and that's the one that's going to give you 3 to 4 times more profits, ensuring that if you've got the capital, you could be making $5,000, $10,000, $15,000 a month.